Hi y'all, today we're going to be quote-unquote ranking the Hypostases based on how good I think they would be as a pet. This is stupid, I'm gonna be honest, this is a pretty stupid video, but I like Genshin, I don't know what kind of content to make on it, and I like the funny cubes, okay? The elemental cubes, for some reason, I find them honestly really adorable. I really, really like them. I honestly wish they would release, like, plushes or even figures of these things, because I love these stupid little cubes, so I wanted to talk about them. So we're going to go through all 7 of these things, and which one I think would be best as a pet. This is dumb, but alas, here we are. So, starting with the Pyro Hypostases. I think this one's a double-edged sword. So, theoretically you have an infinite source of heat, and that's pretty much the whole benefit of this thing. You'd have an infinite source of heat, which would be pretty damn cool. Winter would literally never be a problem, especially if you live in a cold area. And, well, if you ever need to cook, just chuck the cube in there. And if it's your pet, well, it's probably willingly going to do this for you. It'd be pretty cool for that, but, I mean, you can't ever let it get too close to you. It would probably just straight up burn your house down. I think it would be neat, but honestly, it wouldn't be a very good pet. It'd almost be more of a utility piece, as a, I need to get rid of some snow, or I need to cook something. Get over here, you funny little cube, rather than an actual pet. So it's going, like, it wouldn't work. It just straight up wouldn't work. Moving on to the Hydro Cube. The Hydro Cube is probably the least useful of the whole lot of them. It's just, well, you can't really do much with it. Anything you need to make cold with water, you can do better with the Cryo Cube later. And if the cube is going to be wet, because, let's face it, it's hydro, well, do you really want your entire house to just be constantly filling with water? Or you to constantly be wet whenever you want to go to touch the thing? It's not like, I guess you could leave it in like a bathtub. So, it's better than the Pyro Cube on merit of you could actually theoretically have the thing as a pet, because it wouldn't just immediately ruin your life. But, would it be very good? Probably not. The Animal Cube, I think, would actually be really good. It's not particularly hot or cold, we can assume, because it's not a hot element or a cold element, it's just wind. And having basically wind at your disposal would be pretty cool. You know, if it's ever too hot, you basically just have a fan on demand. If something's, like, if there's a bunch of flies around, you just get the cube to basically tell them to fuck off and blow them away. If anybody's annoying you, you just have the cube blow them away. I think the Animal Cube is actually probably top tier. It's definitely up there. I think it'd be really, really convenient. The only complaint I can give to the cube is, or the Animal Cube is, it looks very rough. It looks very, like, stiff. You wouldn't be able, like, it probably wouldn't work to, like, cuddle with, okay? This is such a stupid fucking video, man. The Animal Cube, I think it's up there. I think the only problem is it probably wouldn't be very comfortable to be around. It's not like a dog or a cat that's soft. It's a fucking rock. Like, I think it's absolutely probably one of the best, if not the best, of the cubes to have as a pet, just because of how useful it is. In fact, it doesn't straight up ruin your life by existing. But it wouldn't be very comfortable. The Electro Cube. I think the Electro Cube's up there, maybe just below the Animal Hypostasis, just because it's not super hot or cold, so it's not, like, burning your house down like the Pyro Cube or making everything wet like the Hydro Cube. But it doesn't really bring a lot to the table. It's a cool color, and honestly, like, I feel like it's probably a little bit softer than the Animal Cube. Also, you have electricity on demand, which is really handy. If something's annoying you, you can kind of just get the cube to zap it. I don't know, I feel like it would be useful, and, like, it would make a decent pet, but I don't think it's as useful as the Animal Cube. I think the Animal Cube just brings so much without ruining your life that it's just too good. Electro Cube, though, it'd be fine. I guess it depends how much you like electricity or how much you think you could do with it. I mean, this all basically boils down to what's your favorite color. But, like, yeah. Dendro Cube, I think the Dendro Cube would actually probably be pretty good. If we take it in its normal state, which is its corrupt state, it would obviously be really, really bad, because let's be real, it'd probably just poison you, and that's that. But if we take it in its cleansed state at the end of the boss, how you defeat it, it would probably be pretty good. I mean, you have the power of Dendro available to you at all times, which would be really ridiculous for a lot of things. Also, I don't know why, but I headcanon it as being the softest of all the hypostases, because it's Dendro, it's greenery, it's plants, it's nature, it's that kind of thing. So I feel like it would be the softest of all. It's still like a bunch of rocks, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it would be the softest of all the hypostases. I just feel like it. The problem is this one's probably the most susceptible to death. If you light the thing on fire, it's not good. I mean, they're all rocks, but, like, I feel like the Dendro Cube specifically, if you accidentally burn the thing, it's gonna have a bad time. So, it's probably up there. It's probably right below, maybe even tied with the Anemo Cube. Honestly, Anemo and Dendro Cube might just be the best overall for what they bring and the fact that they're probably just the most useful. Cryo Cube. Now, when I originally came up with this stupid video idea, I thought the Cryo Cube would be right at the top. Because, well, it's cryo. You know, during summer, this thing would be awesome to have around. You would literally never melt again. And then I kind of thought about it when I was taking the picture for this video thumbnail. The area around this thing is extremely cold, and it skyrockets the freezing meter in-game. If we take that into real life, as a pet, you're probably just going to freeze to death whenever you're near this thing. I don't think it's as house-ruining or life-ruining as Hydrocube, because it's just ice. But you just can't be near the thing. It's probably just dead in the water, unless you have a source of heat with you at all times. Which I guess you could do. I guess it wouldn't be that bad. But it's probably... It's tolerable, but I don't think it would make a great pet. The last one, the Geocube. I think the Geocube is probably the most, like, average. This is probably, like, the base. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's a rock. But that's the thing, it's just a rock. It's really stiff. I guess it could create structures for you, which would be kind of funny. But it doesn't really do anything. Also, it's probably really, really uncomfortable because it's Geo. It's like a rock, and it's already a rock cube, so it's probably like the rockiest and stiffest of all the cubes. So, I think if we're tier listing this, if we're doing this as an actual ranking, I think the Animal Cube is probably the best. Then the Dendro Cube. Then Electro. Then Cryo or Geo, depending on where you live. I think the Cryo Cube would be really good if you live in a hot area. Whereas if you already live in a cold area, this thing is just fucked. So Geo Cube or Cryo Cube is kind of like where you live. If you have a source of heat as well to deal with the Cryo Cube. Because you could probably put the Cryo Cube over the Electro Cube if you could deal with its coldness. So then Geo Cube. Then Hydro Cube, because if it's just wet, it's just going to suck to be around. Like... It's gonna really suck to be around. And then Pyrocube at the bottom, because you either burn to death around this thing, or it burns down everything you know and love. So, yeah, this is a video of all time. This is basically a really long-winded way of saying, I like the Anemo Cube. The funny wind blowing cube is funny